People, leading Britain's conversation.
Yeah, I remember where things are now. Yes, yes.
Everything is going extremely well.
You bet your life it is. 0345 6060 973. Look at this keen person. Lawrence tweets, don't you think Rwanda is a distraction from Partygate? Is Rwanda a distraction from Partygate? Do seagulls poop on your car in North Wales? You betcha. Britons have been warned they face an Easter weekend of motoring misery with clogged up motorways, busy A roads and so on, and one of the busiest bank holiday travel days on records, as in ever.
Oh no!
As many as 21.5 million car journeys are expected to be made in the UK across the 4-day Easter period. Blimey. 21.5 million. It's the first free of COVID restrictions in more than 2 years, Easter. If estimates are correct, it will be the highest figure for an Easter bank holiday since the RAC first started tracking motorists' plans in 2014. My mouth's not working very well. Can we start again? It also comes as holidaymakers face potential chaos at understaffed airports, with millions expected to fly out or back to the UK over the 4-day weekend. Don't do it, it ain't worth it. Meanwhile, holidaymakers planning to hop across the channel are facing disruption due to P&O ferries. You know P&O ferries?
No!
Yeah, that's them. P&O ferries have cancelled their Dover to Calais crossings this weekend. Here's a question. Is there a queue to get on the boat to go from Calais to Dover? I know there's a queue to get on the boat from Dover to Calais. Does it also apply the other way around? The announcement came after 2 of P&O's ships were detained due to safety concerns following its sacking of 800 crew members last month.
Warning, warning!
Which they were able to do in spite of pretend outrage of Conservative MPs, as removing all of your working rights is what they meant when they promised a bonfire of red tape. They weren't doing it to do you a favour, even though they sold it to you as that's what it was. As many as 4.6 million car journeys are expected. Wait a minute. 21.5 million, I thought. 4.6 million now. It's a deflationary statistic. Easter Monday. Many will be heading back from their travels. It's predicted to be the busiest day of them all, with up to 4 million leisure journeys expected. Hang on a minute. It started at 21.5, and then it's 4.6, and now it's 4. Leisure journeys, they won't be leisurely journeys though, will they?
Correct.
Travel experts are warning of possible delays on the roads. Possible delays on the roads. Experts are warning of that, are they? Experts expect the A303 near Stonehenge to be busy. The M25 is expected to be busy across the weekend and for the rest of your life. And the M3, the M40, the M4, the M6, basically anything with an M on the front will be like a giant car park. RAC traffic spokesmodel Rod said, after 2 years of relatively quiet Easter bank holidays on the roads, our research suggests a return to traffic levels that are much more typical of this time of year. And it's very possible this weekend could turn out to be one of the busiest for leisure journeys for many years. He is an expert who's done research. So nobody is remotely interested in anything he's got to say.
Oh, right, yeah.
RAC spokesmodel Rod urged drivers to ensure their cars are road ready by ensuring their cars have enough fuel, that you've topped up your oil, you've got enough coolant, whatever that is, and road legal tyres before you travel. Also, make sure that your stereo just becomes a distorted mess of noise at the volume you play it at, and your vision is impeded by all the stuff you've got hanging from your rearview mirror. And that you've installed one of those giant mufflers that make your Renault Twingo sound like an earthquake. Experts travel analyst Bob said, there will be record traffic numbers this weekend. Even with a significant increase in petrol prices, there will be a large jump in holiday driving compared to the last couple of years. Travel analyst Bob said, drivers should expect congestion on major roadways and urban areas and popular destinations. Wait, major roadways and urban areas and popular destinations. Well, that sounds like everywhere to me. There's going to be awful everywhere. Nothing says holiday like cramming the family into a car to sit in a traffic jam to get to a place that's already crammed with people just like you, who you'll be queuing with for everything in crushing crowds wherever you go. Millions of Brits are foolishly setting off to jet off or arrive back in the UK from somewhere else across this 4-day weekend. The first major holiday since the government lifted all travel restrictions. What could possibly go wrong? Of course, they didn't plan for any of this. Like, nobody did. Border Force union chiefs have already sounded the alarm, warning passengers they face long queues at passport control due to, quotes, catastrophic understaffing.
Oh, no.
Uh-oh. Rail passengers are being warned of Easter delays as Network Rail carries out 530 engineering projects, costing a total of £83 million. Transport Secretary Grant Shapps took aim at transport chiefs, saying he was, quotes, concerned that ports and airports had not managed to get up to strength since the lifting of COVID measures. But port and airport staff that were let go, or died, or left to find other work during COVID will take time to train back up and pass the required government security checks. On top of which, the disastrous Brexit that his government pushed through means that we don't have a pool of workers from Europe to rely on anymore. But you'd think that as Transport Secretary, Grant Shapps would know that. But I suppose it would be asking too much for members of the regime to know anything about their actual speciality. What's your speciality, Bodge?
I followed the ministerial guidance at all times.
Oh, yes, lying. Lying is your speciality. And by the way, while the government is whining about how terrible the airlines and the airports are, they are at the same time reducing the compensation that people like you who are delayed might be able to claim. Did you know that? Under current rules, passengers delayed by more than 3 hours, or those whose flights are cancelled at short notice, are entitled to at least £220 in compensation. They also have the right to be rerouted or refunded. But the Department of Transport is proposing changes to the legislation, which would see compensation capped at the ticket price on domestic routes. That'll be those pesky regulations that they need to get rid of. You know, the ones that actually protect you. But I suppose people knew what they voted for. Passenger numbers could hit as high as 80% of pre-pandemic levels over the weekend, experts predict, at a time when airports are still struggling to restaff after downsizing their operations during the COVID pandemic. Passenger numbers dropped by about 75% over the course of the COVID nightmare. You know, the invisible bat disease. Airports have, of course, struggled to recruit, train and obtain security clearance for staff in time for Easter school holidays. This, along with COVID absences, has been behind long queues at check-in and security at airports such as Heathrow and Birmingham and Manchester. And Border Force, the people who check your passports and let you in, is a department wholly run by Her Majesty's government, the catastrophic clown show that is running this joint. And they have failed, just as you would expect, having witnessed everything else that they've failed at. There are staffing issues within Border Force, which could result in huge queues and long waits at airport immigration halls, which has nothing to do with the airlines or the airports. Lucy Morton, General Secretary of the Immigration Services Union, said there's been staffing problems with Border Force for some time. And for the first time in living memory, Border Force is no longer attracting enough candidates to fill the vacancies that they've got. She said, combined with the fact it takes nearly a year to fully train a Border Force officer, going into not just this summer, this weekend, catastrophically understaffed is a blooming nightmare. Probably because the government has been completely taken surprise by the arrival of Easter. I mean, honestly, who could have seen that coming?
Yeah. Wait.
We need to buy them a diary. Does anything not strike them as totally surprising? Let's have a call in Maidstone. Joan.
Hello there.
Hello there.
Hi. As you always say, I bet you.
Betcha.
I bet you that with Boris Johnson, Tricky Fishy, and also Grant Shapps, will head off for America after they're finished smashing up our country. Truthfully, because, do not remember, Boris has always wanted to rule the world.
Yeah.
Seriously, You know, I've been giving a lot of thought to this.
Right.
Oh, by the way, as regards your transport thing, bring out Chris Grayling's fleet.
Oh, yeah, failing Grayling.
Invisible. But seriously, though, the things that they've done, nobody trusts them. We can't go to Putin or anybody and say, you know, you're against human rights, whether it's China, Korea, or whosoever.
Yeah, because
So
he'll
that's
just give us
nobody
he'll give us a mirror and say, "Have you seen you?"
Yeah. So I honestly believe, with all this thing with America, I think this is where they're heading. Maybe their pal Farage is there, and maybe Trump will emerge again.
Oh, painful! What awful thought, Joan. Just when I think it couldn't get any worse.
Yeah, but this is how my mind is working.
Right.
Getting in the world, world of that madman.
Okay, well,
I bet you this is what he's doing.
just stop thinking for a while, Joan.
No. Let's hold on to that thought.
All right.
Because we can put him in the canoe to push them out.
Put them in a canoe. Good idea. No paddle. Thanks, Joan. 0345 6060 973. James texts, why Rwanda, though? Has Fishy Rishi got non-dom status there, too? Highly suspicious. Paul says, you haven't given us the weather. Yes, all right. I'm going to do it. I just did the travel. Weather comes after the travel. Any fool know that. 0345 6060 973. Text. The weather actually is worth waiting for. Text 84850. Email nick@lbc.co.uk. And if you're on Twitter, it's at LBC. Friday, Saturday, Sunday night at 10. Nick Abbott, LBC.
This is LBC with Nick Abbott. Call 0345 6060 973. Tweet at LBC. Text 84850.
I'd like to punch him in the face.
Good Friday, as in today, was one of the hottest days of the year so far, as millions of British sunseekers got in their cars to sit in traffic jams and be abandoned on railway platforms looking at cancelled signs while trying to get to beaches and parks and beauty spots. How did that go, by the way?
Oh, fabulous.
Very pleasant spring conditions. Doesn't it feel like the planet has turned a corner?
Yes.
Certainly does. Not winter anymore. Very pleasant spring conditions and highs of 23 degrees C in London and the southeast. Hotter than some European destinations, including but not limited to Athens, Paris, Ibiza and Majorca. The warm weather even reached the high teens in northern areas, including Yorkshire and parts of Scotland. Can you believe that?
No.
Met Office meteorologist Steve said most of the UK would enjoy sunny spells and high temperatures this weekend, but as the strength of UV rays could hit 6, which is considered high, no one should go outside. He said, naturally occurring reactions in the atmosphere as well as man-made emissions both contribute to the phenomenon, which is usually temporary. The increase in UV intensity. Did I miss this bit? I think I did. It's been caused by slightly depleted stratospheric zone. A what now? This is the first time I've spoken in about a week. I should do like facial exercises before I come on. Like that. Have you heard? The increase in UV intensity has been caused by slightly depleted stratospheric ozone, which helps protect the Earth from the rays. So says Met Office meteorologist Steve. He said, naturally occurring reactions in the atmosphere as well as man-made emissions both contribute to the phenomenon, which is usually temporary. Educational, no?
No.
He said it's a naturally fluctuating cycle, in part not helped by human emissions. Which sounds like woke snowflakery to me. Human emissions? Well, why don't you go and live on another planet if you don't like it? Met Office meteorologist Steve. Unrelated to Chief Meteorologist Neil said, most people will see some spells of decent bank holiday weather this weekend. It will feel warm in places, particularly for the first half of the Easter break. However, there's a but. However, a low-pressure system will affect the northwest of the UK later Sunday, bringing unsettled weather to the north and some strong winds and rain in the northwest. Yeah, I bet. I'm checking while you wait. When does it not? One moment, please. Aha! Wow. Okay, here's what it's like in the south. Sunny tomorrow and sunny on Sunday, and sunny on Monday, and sunny on Tuesday, and sunny on Wednesday. Cloudy on Thursday. Wait a minute, checking. No sun on Thursday, and then sunny on Friday, sunny on Saturday, and sunny on Sunday. And then pretty much sunny the whole of the following week. Here's what it's like in Glasgow. Cloudy tonight and cloudy on Sunday, cloudy on Saturday and cloudy on Sunday, and raining on Monday, and cloudy on Tuesday, and cloudy on Wednesday, and cloudy on Thursday, and cloudy on Friday, and cloudy on Saturday. It's cloudy for 2 weeks straight. You won't see the sun at all. Still, you've probably not got anything to wear in the sun. Where was I? Oh yeah, Jim Dale. Not that one. Jim Dale, meteorologist for British Weather Services, said humidity will rise on Wednesday with an improving picture in the weather. The cloud will start to break and it will be time for T-shirts. And everyone in Newcastle is going, it's always time for T-shirts. He says, I think in the main, for the bank holiday weekend, we'll see temperatures quite widely above average across the UK. And hopefully they could be very warm in the southeast in particular. Meanwhile, Ladbrokes says this weekend looks set to play host to the hottest day of the year. But what do they know about it? Bookies now make it a 1/3 shot for record temperatures for the year to be recorded anywhere in the UK on Saturday or Sunday. Does that make sense?
No.
I've no idea what they're talking about. Ladbrokes says things are hotting up on the weather front, and we could well be set for a record-breaking weekend as a result. And not to be outdone, Coral has slashed the odds to 1-2 from 6-4. I've still got no idea what they're talking about. Those are the odds on this weekend being a record hot Easter. Place your bets, bet nah. According to the Met Office, on Saturday, a mixture of clear and sunny spells. Cloudier areas with some showers most likely in central and western areas. Warm, especially in the sunshine. Sunday, similar. Rain arriving in the evening, though, from the west, signalling a change to unsettled cooler weather from Monday. It's over. As soon as it starts, it's over. Hey, do you want to hear the long-range weather forecast for the next 4 weeks?
No.
Till the end of the month. This month here. Cloudy for southern parts, with rain or showers. Drier, sunny spells elsewhere. Breezy, temperatures close to average or rather cool. Spells of more prolonged rain possible by next weekend, continuing changeable thereafter, temperatures close to average. That's the rest of this month. Pfft, rubbish. Then, the first 2 weeks of May. Good luck, everybody. At the start of May, it's expected to turn more settled. Most places should see a good deal of fine, dry weather, and temperatures are most likely to be above normal. Most places should see a good deal of fine, dry weather and temperatures are most likely to be above normal. We'll take it. 0345 6060 973. Well, the National Grid has hiked its forecasts as the soaring cost of electricity boosted its profits. They have hiked their forecasts for profitability as the soaring cost of electricity has boosted their bottom line. That's the National Grid. The National Grid released a statement. They said, the announcement comes as inflation reached a 30-year high of 7%, with growing energy prices playing a big role in the increase. We've never had it so bad, and they've never had it so good. Coincidence?
No.
I got a missive from my fuel provider this week. They said, hi, which lulled me into a false sense of security. Hi, they said, like they're my friend. You currently pay £98 a month for us squirting energy up your house. This needs to change. Henceforth, you will be charged not £98 a month, you will be charged £400 a month. What? £400 a month. How is that even possible? What for? But you know me, I never complain.
Whinging and whining and moaning.
Power prices in the UK have surged in the past year. You bet they have. Oil and gas prices have jumped 37%. Well, 400% in my case. And this has led to a £693 rise in the energy price cap in April. Well, I don't know how mine are getting away with it. Energy price cap? What cap? There have been calls for the company National Grid to use its increased profits to reduce bills for households. National Grid released a statement. They said, I mean, that's just the sort of woke snowflakery that the commentators on the Mail Online website flail their arms at. Tax the companies that are profiting from our despair. That's socialism, that is. That's the politics of envy, that is. I swear, every time I read the comment section on any story on the Mail Online, my IQ level takes a dip. and my IQ level wasn't that high to start with.
Correct.
National Grid makes its money by charging suppliers to use its network to provide electricity to households, a cost that is then passed on to customers through a transmission charge added to their bills. Simon Francis, coordinator of End Fuel Poverty Coalition, said households up and down the country are going to look on in horror at the spectre of a private firm profiteering from the misery of increasing fuel prices. Yeah, that's right. It is a private company. Sold off, like everything else that we used to own, for the long-term gain of people that you'll never meet. I mean, do we own anything anymore? It was all sold off, and it was sold to us. The idea of selling it off was sold to us, the little people, not leprechauns, as being great for us. Oh, competition is going to send the price of fuel or whatever it might be through the floor. How's that working out? If they could sell the air, we'd be breathing shallowly right now to keep the bills down. They did sell it was the Central Electricity Generating Board, you remember? They sold it. Flogged it off. For whose benefit? Not ours. Where did the money go? A Liberal Democrat MP, this might be a spelling mistake, but I've got Weira Hobhouse. He or it said, people can't afford to heat and power their homes right now, yet they're watching major suppliers rake in billions of dollars. That's right. The call for windfall taxes on energy suppliers is deafening, yet the government is burying their heads in the sand. So said Weira Hobhouse, MP for the Liberal Democrats, if indeed there is such a person. Well, you know what? They're not burying their heads in the sand. They're going on TV and lying to us about how it is impossible to tax the energy giants because that's punishing the wealth creators. Or it's socialism. Or, look, a dinghy. I mean, how much distraction can one nation take? 400 quid a month. How's that even possible? I mean, I barely turn the heating on ever. Walking around in about 63 layers of woolens. I can barely see where I'm going. I've got so many jumpers on. Brian texts, I know you don't need to know this, but I am sitting on a hotel balcony in beautifully warm Fuengirola in 20 degrees temperatures at 11 o'clock at night. And getting back to Britain's conversation, we never had an issue at Newcastle Airport. Newcastle Airport. There's no such place. And thanks, Brian, for the weather update, but we don't wish to know that. John texts, Jacob Rees-Mogg shows no empathy and Boris Johnson fakes his. Any comments, Smug?
You're better informed than I am. I don't know anything.
Boris Johnson fakes his empathy. Yeah, he really tried very, very hard to look like somebody who felt sorry about something. And failed, by the way, quite spectacularly. Better luck next time, Bodge. 0345 6060 973, text 84850, email nicka@lbc.co.uk. If you're on Twitter, it's at LBC. Blimey, is that the time already? 10:30. It's the news headlines with Zora Suleiman.
Nick Abbott on LBC. Call 0345 6060 973.
What's he got to be depressed about?
Well, what have you got? 0345 6060 973. Speed limiters in cars. Right. From the 6th of July 2022, all newly launched cars will legally have to be fitted with a speed limiter, so says the European Union. Boo! Yeah, and His Imperial Bodginess is going to go along with that. Yes?
No.
No way. I betcha he doesn't do anything of the sort. He's only brought this up to say, the European socialist nightmare that is Europe wants to restrict your freedom to break the law. Do I look like somebody who would want to restrict your freedom to break the law? And it will be another one of those woke European snowflakes want to limit you from going from 150 mile an hour down the high street. And fortunately, His Imperial Bodginess will come to our rescue. They just won't do it. Beverly, Mike.
Hi, Nick. Yeah, talking about Brexit and Johnson. The Rwandan dead tiger that he's dropped on the table at the minute.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, in his speech in Kent, if he'd actually said that in the Houses of Parliament, he would have had to resign.
Oh, please.
Because he said that due to Brexit freedoms, we can now announce. Well, Denmark did this months ago. Which he knew full well, so he would have directly lied to Parliament again. And this one was provable, but...
they're all provable. I mean, he just lies and he lies and he lies and he lies and he lies. I mean, he's done it his entire life and with zero consequence, so why would he stop now?
No chance of him stopping ever until he's removed.
Well, he's not going to get removed because there's just enough people who think, leave him alone, he's doing his best.
What horrified me about the Tory party bit on this was that you got Owen Paterson, so, OK, you get bad apples everywhere, so he could have taken his punishment, but no, they had to change the rules.
Yeah.
And then Johnson gets done, and they start saying, no, the police were wrong, and the rules were ridiculous. They're trying to change the rules again.
They are. Well, they're trying to make it as though we're being mean to them by insisting on them having obeyed the laws that they set for us, as though, we should move on, as though the problem is with us for still being, annoyed or interested in this issue. Why can't we take our instructions and leave this behind us as we have been told to do?
Yeah, and going back to his speech in Kent, he also mentioned that, in spite of legal challenges that will undoubtedly come, we're going to press ahead with this. Well, that tells you what the next plan is, because what will happen is they'll try and censor them, the courts will block it, and then we'll have the judges are the enemies of the people again.
Enemies of the people, yeah. Activist lawyers and enemies of the people, judges. Yeah.
I was going to protect you and get this done, but the judges have stopped me. I was a man of action, but look, it's not my fault again. You can see that coming down the road in a couple of months. It
doesn't actually matter if it happens or not. It's the idea to put it into the minds of their fans that they're thinking along the same lines. If they try and be mean to foreigners, but they are prevented from doing so because it's against the law, then they can say, well, if only it wasn't for those woke snowflakes over there, then we would have. Then you personally, a Bodger fan, would be surrounded by far fewer foreigners. So they can claim a victory, even if it's a failure. It doesn't really matter if it works or not.
That's old strategy, political intrigue. But what I would absolutely love to see, and that's a boatload of Ukrainians come over and get over here via Calais, and then see what they do with it, because that would completely leave them nowhere to go. Would they actually send Ukrainians to Rwanda?
Well, if I had to go one way or the other, I'm going yes. Yes, they would. Yeah. All right. Thanks a lot, Mike. 0345 6060 973. You know Priti Patel, don't you? Yes, that's her. Well, Priti Patel has warned that up to 65,000 people could cross the channel in small boats this year, almost double last year's record. But why stop there, Priti Patel? Why stop at 65,000? It could be 165,000 or 165 million. There are 165 million people potentially coming over here to steal our biscuits.
Oh, no.
Priti Patel revealed the estimate. Just pulled it out of the air. As Bodger Johnson pledged that the first flights taking those illegally arriving in Britain 4,000 miles to East Africa would take off within weeks. Hurrah! A scheme to take people to a country that no one in Britain could point to on a map at a cost of putting them up in the Ritz Hotel, and also that His Imperial Bodginess can crow to his kipper fans that he's tough on foreigners and tough on the causes of foreigners. The PM pledged to do whatever it takes to cling on to power. Oh, I'm sorry, that should read. The PM has pledged to do whatever it takes to push through his little scheme to tackle the small boats crisis in the Channel and smash people trafficking gangs. They keep talking about smashing people smuggling gangs, as though that's their primary concern. They're just trying to keep you foreigners safe. We're told some 28,000 people made the journey in 2021, which should read 28,000 potential terrorists and murderers and rapists flooded in to take our freedom. Or, basically whatever Donald Trump would say in these circumstances.
Donald Trump is not a nice person.
And they can only come over by that route, of course, because the tiny number that actually want to come here have been denied any legal way of getting here. It's a neat trick. Deprive those most in need of getting here legally and then insist that they must come legally, while making it impossible to do that. Brilliant. Well, not really brilliant, but if you've got the nerve to straight-facedly announce such a thing, then, good for you. Tory MPs are famously guided by their faith, and pushing those most in need away is just what Jesus would have done. Perfectly timed for this period of the year. Ain't that right, Smug?
You're better informed than I am. I don't know anything.
Boris Johnson said tens of thousands of Channel migrants would be sent with a one-way ticket, and the rapture in the ranks of his Kipper fan club could be heard through concrete. They are dizzy with excitement. Finally, his most ardent supporters will be able to feel better about themselves because they are instrumental in making other people's lives more miserable. It is a dream come true. The first flight's expected to leave before the end of next month. There's no time to lose. Local elections are in a few weeks. And this is just the sort of thing that gets the fan base all riled up and ready to vote. Critics of the plan attacked it over the sheer cost, estimated at up to £30,000 per person. And there's also the small matter of Rwanda's human rights record, also known as socialist woke whinging. Certain people aren't remotely interested in how much it costs, as long as it upsets the liberals. Or, as those with a conscience or a heart are now referred to, the woke. And as for torture, well, that'll teach them. Anyway, a bit of torture never hurt anyone. ITV reported that the Home Office civil servants have asked for a ministerial direction from Priti Patel over the scheme, meaning that they have concerns over the plan. Yeah, they want her to write it down. If you want us to do this, you're going to have to put it in writing. Immigration Minister Tom Pursglove told Sky News that it was important to stop people putting their lives in the hands of these evil criminal gangs who run the cross-channel boats, often charging thousands of pounds a person. Yeah, he's just interested in their safety and their bank balance. Conservative former Cabinet Minister Andrew Mitchell, on the other hand, said the plan to send migrants to Rwanda was immoral and involved eye-watering costs. The former International Development Secretary said the problem with the scheme that they've announced is, I don't think it'll work. It's impractical, it's being condemned by churches and civil society, it's immoral, and, above all, for Conservative advocates, it's incredibly expensive. The costs are eye-watering, he said. You're going to send people 6,000 miles into Central Africa. It looked, when it was discussed in Parliament before, that it would actually be cheaper to put each asylum seeker in the Ritz Hotel in London. But you miss the point entirely, Conservative former Cabinet Minister Andrew Mitchell. It's not to solve the problem of asylum seekers, and it's not got anything to do with value for money. It's a bribe, if you like. A little reminder of those promised Brexit bonuses to the Kipper faithful who have loaned their vote to the Tories because the Tories have basically become UKIP. It's like a reverse takeover. They're all the Nigel party now. And Brexit Nirvana is still promised, still not quite here yet. But vote Conservative one more time and those sunlit uplands will come into view. Just a small push and we're there, everyone. 0345 6060 973. Text 84850. Email nick@lbc.co.uk. If you're on Twitter, it's @LBC. Friday, Saturday, Sunday night. And Monday this week at 10, Nick Abbot, LBC.
Leading Britain's conversation. LBC with Nick Abbott.
Listen to him. He knows everything.
0345 6060 973. Here is an important call in Sheen from a person called Francis. Francis?
Hi Nick, how are you?
Great, mate.
Good. Just one point about trade and one point about energy costs.
Yes.
With regard to trade, I know you've been really, really harsh about Britain leaving the EU and not doing enough trade deals.
Yes, I'm a big meanie.
It could be a blind spot, Nick, but there was a trade deal, it seems, solved newly signed this week, and it's with Rwanda.
Yeah, it's a trade in human beings. What does that remind you of?
Well, yeah. I mean, what I was thinking here is that we're on the verge of a world war, potentially, about countries' right to self-determination. Mm. And Rwanda have spent, shed loads of money with Arsenal Football Club under the banner of Visit Rwanda, trying to build a high-value tourism trade. Mm. And Britain says, no. Rwanda, you're good for our useless migrants. It's a slightly different value proposition.
It is, yeah. It doesn't make me want to put Rwanda at the top of my to-go list.
Exactly, yeah. I mean, it's harsh, really, and
I mean, I have seen that Visit Rwanda thing on their strip, and at no point would that advertising actually make me want to visit Rwanda.
Well, maybe someone in Parliament's seeing us and they think it's like a huge joke now sending the migrants there. Maybe they think there's some sort of humour in this. But as you say, it really is sort of human trafficking under a different banner, unfortunately.
Let's stick to what we're good at, eh?
Yeah. And with regards to electricity and fuel costs, I mean, this country seems like great at highlighting certain things and then missing the points. Again, that everyone saw that Putin crashed his way into Crimea and they thought, well, we're never going to do that again. Britain was rehearsing for a pandemic, but it was a flu pandemic. But I'm just thinking, with the cost of, there's some real, risks with this whole energy crisis. So, for example, there's a certain arm of the government will be putting pressure on the NHS to control costs. And yet, on the other hand, they're encouraging people who've missed their appointments and missed their operations over the last few years to go back to hospital. But if electricity costs are 4 times what they were, it's going to be difficult for hospitals to absorb all that cost. And then people are forced to make the reverse decision about people going back to hospitals and getting their treatment on time and stuff. It's a mess.
Yeah, you can't really turn down the lights in an operating theatre.
A ventilator probably costs a lot of money, electricity. So hopefully if Boris catches COVID again, nobody sort of turns to, someone puts a coin in the slot.
Yeah, don't worry about it, Francis. Nobody in government is relying on the NHS for their health needs. Private healthcare all the way. Thanks a lot, mate. Probably paid for by us. 0345 6060 973. Jane texts, good old Boris is on to something there's no comma there, but I'm going to put one there anyway. Otherwise it makes no sense. Jane texts, good old Boris is on to something. We could send him fishy and pretty hip. See? There's no punctuation anywhere here, Jane. Would you like to borrow a comma?
No.
Good old Boris is on to something. We could send him Fishy and Priti Patel to Rwanda. Problem solved. Lord Frost can fly the plane.
Warning, warning.
I just saw something that said, Tories are desperate for Lord Frost to stand in the... oh, wait a minute. Let me see if I can pull this up. Oh, Harry and Harry and Harry and Harry and Harry and Harry and Meghan. Oh, my God. On and on and on and on and on and on with those people. 1 minute. Tories urge Lord Frost to stand in key Redwall by-election. Yeah, go on then. I double dare you. We could make as great a success of it as he did of those Brexit negotiations. The man looks like a melting candle. Go on, I double dare you. Put him up for that seat. Ark tweets, did P&O crew the Russian ship that sank? New Malden, Ahmed.
Hi, hello, Nick. Good
Ahmed.
evening. Yes, I thought we seen it all from conservatives, all their immoral and unethical policies. Mm-hmm. But this sending immigrants to Rwanda, that takes a biscuit. I think this is just beyond all thinking.
It's genius. Their fans will love it.
Well, if you remember, Priti Patel, she was forced to resign in November 2017. Why? Because she held unauthorized meetings with Israeli officials.
Yeah.
Now, Israel had the same policy. They also sent some immigrants to Rwanda, but they scrapped it because it failed, because
that's right.
These people were not safe there.
Yeah.
And
well, they weren't safe there, and they left Rwanda and ended up back in Israel.
Israel. And not only that, last year at UN, our ambassador at UN was condemning Rwanda for human rights abuse.
Correct.
And violations.
Yeah.
And now...
And now Boris Johnson saying it's one of the safest countries in the world. Top level gaslighting there, Bodger. It isn't unbelievable, Ahmed. It is entirely believable. It's all of a piece.
I'm for controlled immigration, yes, but this is just ridiculous. Why can't they make decisions on immigrants in this country? Why send them 5,000-6,000 miles away?
Ahmed, it's called performative cruelty. It has nothing to do with whether it will work or not, or whether it's good value for money. It's them pleasing their fans just before a major local election.
Yeah, but it's against international law.
Yeah, but they don't care.
I know.
It's a national law. That's a good one.
I followed the ministerial guidance at all times. He
lied. All right, thanks a lot, Ahmed. Ark tweets. Oh, no, I've read that. Callum says, would it be appropriate to rename that Russian ship Sinky McSinkface? No. I mean, as awful as everything is, I do feel sorry for those, essentially, Russian kids that have been put in uniform and sent in front of guns by that swivel-eyed psychopath in Moscow. I mean, I know that some of the things that the Russians are doing are absolutely blooming awful, but some of them, not all of them, but some of them are victims in this too. Just one bloke. It's just incredible. I cannot get my head around that. One man is basically ruining the lives of 6 billion people and threatening to exterminate all of us. One man. And there's nothing we can do about it, apparently. And he's thrown his toys out the pram because the Ukrainians fought back. I mean, think about that for a minute. Bloke walks into a bar, punches you in the face every second, once a second, over and over and over again, and then runs to tell his mummy if you put your hands up to defend yourself. What a way to run a planet, eh?
Dreadful.
Howard texts, the trouble with all these motorists stuck on the motorways is that each one of them thinks that it's everybody else causing the jams. They fail to realise and admit that they themselves are causing the chaos. It's always someone else. Wow, Howard, you just blown my mind.
Yowza.
Daryl says, this country is full. Now, I've got no idea if he's actually serious. I'll have to read on to find out. But you should be aware that the word full is in capital letters with an exclamation mark.
Oh, no.
Oh, yes. And it's the only letter, they're the only letters in this entire text that are actually capitalized. The beginnings of sentences are not, but the word full is, like he's yelling at me. Daryl texts, this country is full. No room at the inn. Oh, now I think we're, because of the time of year, we're straying into what might be irony territory. Irony territory.
Warning, warning.
Irony ahead, perhaps. Prepare yourself. From the top, Daryl says, this country is full. No room at the inn. Every time someone steps off a dinghy onto the south coast, we all have to shuffle up. And someone on the north coast of Scotland is toppled into the sea and drowns. I mean, where's your compassion, says Daryl. I think we've snatched a victory from the jaws of defeat there. Good one, Daryl. Josh says, you ain't never fit in his bodginess in a canoe. Never. Yeah, I think we're going to need a bigger boat. That's right. Yeah. No offence, Bodge, but, you know. Have you thought of a salad once in a while? Ali texts today, in Edinburgh, it was 28 degrees. 14 this morning and 14 this afternoon. Oh, stop with the jokes, people. Pete tweets, how far behind am I already? Oh my God, look at all these texts. How do these people get my number? There's too many. Just work, work, work. Pete tweets, whilst rejoicing about the clement weather we're experiencing right now, remember last April? It was the coldest in 50 years. No, Pete, I do not. I remember the spring of, not last year, but the year before, you know, when we were all suffering under the invisible Chinese bat menace, you know, the bat disease. Oh, wow. I mean, I know you're not supposed to say it because it was awful for a lot of people, but that was fantastic. Best spring ever. Can we have another one of those, please?
No.
No, apparently not. We get nothing. Chris texts, Michael Fabricant's hair looks like custard. No, it doesn't. It doesn't, Chris. Look harder. It looks like pasta. It looks like someone's upturned a colander of pasta onto his bald head. What does that man look like? Clowns in the circus don't look that weird. I mean, is this real life or am I hallucinating? 0345 6060 973, Friday, Saturday, Sunday and Monday night at 10. Nick Abbot, LBC.
This is LBC from Global, leading Britain's conversation with Nick Abbot.
Okie dokie.
Oh, hello.
Yeah, stupid monkey. I'm sure that stupid monkey goes to my gym. Oh, the amount of time that I just get distracted by, or driven to distraction rather, by these kids that just sit on all the equipment, just gawping at their phones, scrolling and scrolling and scrolling. I can't stand it. And you ask one of them, they were just sitting there for like 5 minutes, just not doing anything, just gawping at their phones, you know, like morons. And you ask one of them, you know, have you got much to do? You're going to be long? And they look at you like you've just kicked their cat. Yeah, well, you know, been like a minute. And then they go straight back to looking at their phones again. Makes me want to kill them, but you're not allowed to kill them because of the Human Rights Act. Meddling European Union again. Alan texts, what is the cost of a holiday to Rwanda? I don't know, but whatever it is, too blooming much. Let's have Brighton. Hello, John.
Hello, Nick.
John.
Yeah, Harry and Meghan, I can't stand them. They're awful. They've come back to this country to make a film, to take advantage of the Queen while she's still alive.
Take advantage of the Queen?
Her. Pardon?
Take advantage of the Queen?
Yeah, of course. That's right. They couldn't be bothered to come back to this country. They've come back here to make a film while she's still alive for their Netflix series.
Yeah.
And string it along and all that sort of thing. Anyway, I mean, that's just a side. I mean, the Rwanda...
Do you mean in opposition to the newspapers in this country who are just, reporting it as news rather than also taking advantage of the Queen?
Well, yeah. I mean, that's fair enough. I mean,
is it?
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
Oh,
but but we're talking about Harry and Meghan who live in America. And they're complaining about the royal family, yet they're quite happy to come over here and try and take advantage of her. Anyway, that Rwanda policy, I think it's an excellent policy.
I thought you might say that, John, just based on what you've already said.
Yeah, I mean, the criminal gangs that exploit the industry...
That's what you're concerned about, criminal gangs, yeah.
That exploit the industry of the migrants...
Yeah, sure.
Crossing the channel.
Yeah.
They need to be disrupted and drastic action needs to be taken.
So it's not the people that are coming over here to steal our biscuits, it's the criminal gangs that are facilitating that trip.
Well, yeah, that's it. It's a whole industry.
Right, so it's not the foreigners coming over here, it's how they get here.
Yeah.
So if we just provided a boat and brought them over, thereby ruining the criminal gang's business model, that would be okay, would it?
That doesn't stop the criminal gangs, though.
Of course it would. If you made it safe, if you essentially provided a ferry for them, then that would ruin the criminal gang's business model. They would not be able to charge a penny because people would be able to get here safely.
Yeah, but
so that
the
would
numbers
solve,
are going
that
to
would
keep
solve
increasing.
Right, so it's not the criminal gangs you're concerned
the
about.
Numbers. So with globalisation, the internet, the numbers coming across the world is going to keep increasing. I mean, there's been a massive increase in the past year.
Internet, is it? Thanks a lot, Tim Berners-Lee. See what you've done?
Yeah, so it's just not going to stop. It's going to just keep increasing.
You seem to have dropped that whole interest about smashing the criminal gangs, though. I mean, you just drop that straight away and walk by it.
That's part of it. It's part. There's a whole series of factors, but obviously the criminal gangs is a part of it.
Yeah, but it isn't though, because I've already established that you don't care about the criminal gangs.
Well, no, it's the criminal gangs exploit these people. They're paying thousands of pounds.
So in order to get the criminal gangs out of the situation, out of the equation. All we need to do is ferry the asylum applicants from France to here. Problem solved.
Yeah, but I mean, and that just encourages more to come.
Right.
So what are you going to do then?
So as I said before, your initial assertion that you were concerned about criminal gangs was a smokescreen, John.
No, that's part of it. It facilitates it, so that's part of it.
But it's not part of your concerns, though, John, as I have illustrated twice now. But better luck next time. Keep up that hate of Meghan and, Hazard and Sparkles, because that'll get you, I don't know, that'll make you happy? I don't know. Do you experience happiness a lot? Probably not. Oh, my God. The Hazard and Sparkles thing. Look at the Mail Online right now. I'll pull it up right now. 1 minute. OK, that's the first story. Queen insisted Hazard and Sparkles meet Charles before audience with her, but family's first face-to-face chat since Megxit lasted just a quarter of an hour. It's a blooming disgrace. Harry and Meghan break cover in Europe for first time since Megxit. Did Harry... These are all separate stories. Did Harry wait for William to be away before secret chat with the Queen? Harry and Meghan told the Queen she will hug Archie and Lilibet in the near future. Buckingham Palace is accused of trying to bury inquiry into bullying claims against the Duchess of Sussex. Duchess of Diamonds, Meghan Markle dazzles in jewellery. What's this? Harry and Meghan's incognito visit to see the Queen. Inspired by Kate, Meghan Markle steps out in £3,200 white Valentino suit. Don't forget the film crew. Netflix staff scamper around after Hazard and Sparkles. Meghan leads the way as anxious Harry makes his public return. Those are all separate stories. There's like about 12 stories of them. I can't be bothered to go the rest of it. Rolling Stone's money-spinning tour of UK and Europe makes £36 million, but they pay just 300 grand in tax. What? Well, that's only rock and roll, but Mick likes it.
Rock and roll!
Let's have a call in Nottingham. Richard.
Good evening, Nick.
Richard.
How are you?
Great, mate.
Have you on? You're taking your meds, aren't you?
I did forget earlier on, which may have had an effect on the start of the show, but I'm fully up to speed now.
Can I just say, I first found your show about a month ago, and it's brilliant. I mean, it makes my. I'm retired. I live on my own, and it makes my weekend. I look forward to every Friday night.
Well, thanks, Richard.
Now then, I think Boris has missed a trick here with Rwanda. I can see a win situation for everybody.
Go on.
Don't send these people to Rwanda. Send them to Venezuela. They get a job digging up oil. We get free oil. And Venezuela get a cheap workforce. Everyone's a winner.
Everyone's a winner. Would you like to run the country, Richard? Can you start first thing Monday?
Tuesday.
Tuesday, first thing.
Yeah, I usually go to the pub Monday, you see.
Right, okay. We'll work around your schedule. Thanks a lot, Richard. First thing Tuesday. Well, not first thing. You don't have to come in first thing, not on your first day. In the afternoon, Tuesday would be fine. In fact, take Tuesday off. It's going to be like a holiday week anyway. How about Wednesday? Can you start on Wednesday? I know it's a bit much on Wednesday. Try Thursday. How about Thursday? You can start Thursday afternoon? Well, that hardly makes it worth coming in for that week, does it? Skip next week and you can start the following week. How does that sound? I bet that's Bodger's schedule. Oh, he's been working night and day. Yeah, right. Right. Michael texts, why do the energy companies need to increase the standings charges when their profits are at record levels? It sounds like your increases are capped at your bankruptcy. Still, never mind, at least the weather's nice, says Michael. Yeah, I couldn't believe it. I don't wish to repeat myself, but I'm going to repeat myself. I got an email from my evil fuel provider who said, and I quote, you currently pay £98 per month for us to squirt fuel up your house. Which I thought was a bit rude, really. They said, you will no longer be paying £98 per month. You will henceforth be fortunate enough to pay us £400 a month. £400 a month. How? How is that possible? That is doing the... I'm going to do mental arithmetic on the air.
Oh, no.
4 times 12 is... 4 times 12 is like... It's like 4 12s are... 4 12s are like 40... We'll carry them one. And then put the 2 zeros on the end. That's £23,000 a year.
What?
Simon texts, where's Digby Jones when you need him? Rick says, it's ironic that the smart meter needed to be plugged into the electric. How's that helping to reduce consumption? Yeah, that's right. Those smart meters, you wouldn't believe how costly they are to run. Through the roof. Zoe texts, have you got a dozen Easter eggs? Why a dozen? Who gets a dozen Easter eggs? No, I've not got a dozen Easter eggs. I haven't got any blooming Easter eggs. Hey, where's my Easter eggs? Are they all sweets, by the way, that Steve Allen has left for us?
Yeah, he's left loads.
He has left loads. He's like backed a lorry up of sugary treats up to the building. Thanks a lot, Steve, but that's not helping our company svelteness. Let's have Swindon. Jody.
Hello?
Jody.
Is that me?
It sounds like you.
Yeah. I was listening for ages. I got better reception on the telephone than I have on the radio.
Oh.
I don't know what to say now.
Well, I certainly am glad you called.
seems to be going all over the place now, doesn't it?
I know, yeah. It's like it's like a ship without a rudder.
Can I talk? Can I talk about something just a bit like Boris Johnson, Jabba the Hutt? Then
can you talk about something Boris Johnson, Jabba the Hutt? I don't know. Well, let's see how it goes. Go ahead.
Okay. The original story behind Star Wars. Okay. There's a guy called Joseph Campbell who was the brains behind Star Wars, and it's only just been. George Lucas has only admitted it now, right? The original idea was that it was a reworking of World War II, but Darth Vader is Adolf Hitler. I was always under the impression that Winston Churchill was supposed to be Obi-Wan Kenobi. I didn't think he was nothing like him. But now I found out, in actual fact, that is not the case. The original thing is that Darth Vader is Adolf Hitler.
Darth Vader is Adolf Hitler, yeah.
Obi-Wan Kenobi is in actual fact Rudolph Hess. That's why he wears brown. The Dark Master who influences Darth Vader is in actual fact Himmler.
Is that is that a fact?
Yeah, this is that. Yeah, this is true.
These are
Joseph Campbell.
All of these are facts. Go ahead.
This is Joseph Campbell's idea behind Star Wars, reworking it as it takes place in another part of the universe.
Naturally.
Jabba the Hutt is Winston Churchill.
Oh.
Winston Churchill, but he is also Boris Johnson. But when Jabba the Hutt has got Harrison Ford encased in carbonite.
Well, don't tell us. There's people who haven't seen it yet. Spoiler alert.
This is when Winston Churchill has got Rudolph Hess in prison, right?
Yeah.
Now,
is there more to this?
No, I've just about got it all out of the way. Thanks.
Oh, okay.
I've been wanting to tell you that for ages because you keep going, you calling him Boris Johnson Jabba the Hutt, and he is Jabba the Hutt,
right?
Because he's taken the same role, except this has gone to a different level now.
Wow!
I'm not sure which character in Star Wars would be Putin, right?
I do. Yeah, it'd be one of those little annoying little muppets at the end who gets zapped by their own gun. You know, in the third one, which was the sixth one. Oh, it gets very confusing. You haven't really illuminated any of that for us, Jody.
Joseph Campbell died after Return of the Jedi.
Who's that?
He's like a person in America who's a bit like David Icke, but he was like he studied all the ancient races.
Right. You know when you told me that there wasn't much more to this?
Yeah, there's more to it. I didn't find it out on the internet. Okay.
No, of course not.
I found it out by I picked up these 6 videotapes called The Myth and the Magic or something, which was documentaries made by Joseph Campbell just before he died.
Right. Well, that sounds like an unimpeachable source.
Yeah.
As long as you're not making it up.
No, I'm not. This is all true.
Right. Well, I'm sorry, but we're only interested in things that have been made up on this show. We're not interested in truth, are we? 0345 6060 973. Truth does not get a look in on this show. Ain't that right, Bodge?
Yeah. Wait a minute.
Has anybody got any idea what that was about? But here's a tip, Jody. Stand back from the phone a couple of feet. You sound like a heavy breath. You sound like you're Darth Vader. Louise texts, Bodger knows that the key to success is sincerity. Once you can fake that, you've got it made. Oh, please. So old, that joke, Louise. Terrible. You should be ashamed of yourself. That's 2 in a row on the Nicky Abbott show. Sam says, I did a meter reading recently. I used more electricity than estimated and less gas than expected. They didn't believe the gas reading, but were more than happy with the electric reading. I've gone from £94 for both to £271 for just electricity for the month. As Donnie would say, what the hell is going on? Yeah, well, 271. Mine's 400. I don't know how it's possible. I'm not running Wembley Stadium, am I? 0345 6060 973. Nick Abbott, LBC.
Leading Britain's conversation. LBC with Nick Abbott.
You've got a good, your mind is a little bit, three-dimensional.
Yeah, well, it certainly felt that way during the course of the last phone conversation that I had with that nice lady. I have no idea what any of that was about. Something about Adolf Hitler. Anna texts, Bodger was ambushed by a cake. Leave him alone. I think you missed out. He's doing his best, Hannah.
I followed the ministerial guidance at all times.
He lied. Laura says, how to keep foreigners out, have Boris Johnson there to welcome them into the country. His could be the face that launched 1,000 dinghies in the other direction. And Neil says, Bodger's Rwandan dead cat will cost £120 million to resettle 500 refugees with a one-way ticket. That's £240,000 each. Why not give each one of them the cash to spend here in good old Blighty? It literally doesn't matter how much it costs. It's not about resettling them. It's not about the plight of asylum seekers. It's not about being fair or smashing smuggler gangs. It's about getting elected next time round. He's got to give his fans something to be delighted about. And I tell you what, you look at the story on any newspaper, online website, and look at the comments beneath it. Oh, his fans are doing a giddy dance. They've never been so happy. Ministers, however, are braced for a legal fight to stop opponents from scuppering the scheme before it starts. Mr. Johnson accepted the plan would be challenged in the courts, but insisted he was confident about its legality. No, he isn't. Nothing of the sort. He didn't care whether it's legal or not, because the fight would be enough. Even if he loses, he wins. Because his fans will think, wow, good old Bodge, try to push them all back out to sea, let them drown. But these meddling lawyers, activist lawyers, that's where we're going. Oh, and by the way, Boris Johnson, confident about its legality. And there's someone who should know all about the law, eh? Boris Johnson. The government wants tens of thousands of people moved within the next few years. But there were howls of protest from opposition party politicians, human rights bodies and campaign groups who branded the measures as evil, cruel and unethical. And the howl back at them that they are all woke snowflakes and should go and live in another country if they don't like it was even louder. Honestly, his fans are just thrilled at this. They're just doing a giddy dance. They're hugging themselves, they're so delighted. Go on, I double dare you. Look at the comment section under this story in any online paper section. More than 160 British organisations, 160, including but not limited to Liberty, Stonewall and Greenpeace, all signed an open letter to His Imperial Bodgeness and the Home Secretary in protest at this deal. And Liberty and Stonewall and Greenpeace are just the sort of organisations that the foamers in the comment sections love to yell at the most. Helping people? How woke is that? No! There have been concerns over the cost of the scheme. With the price of each migrant sent to Rwanda, the costs to the taxpayer estimated at between £20,000 and £30,000. And so if that's a government estimate, then you know it's going to be 10 times that, don't you? The total figure will cover accommodation before departure, a seat on a chartered plane, and their first 3 months of accommodation in Rwanda. Wherever that is. Johnson accepted the Rwandan deal was not a magic bullet that will solve the small boats crisis. But he said it would save countless lives by breaking the business model of the vile people smugglers who risk turning the channel into a watery graveyard. The watery graveyard is there because vile people who will do anything to cling on to power have made it impossible